Hello students, I'm back with part 2 of Union Legislature wherein you're going to learn about the powers and functions of the Speaker of Lok Sabha and the powers and functions of the Parliament. So let's get started. This is the picture of Shri Om Birla, Speaker of the present Lok Sabha. The Speaker is the presiding officer of Lok Sabha. His position is higher than all the cabinet ministers except the Prime Minister. How is the Speaker elected? The Speaker is elected from among the members of Lok Sabha soon after the newly elected House meets for the first time. So after the general elections, when the Lok Sabha meets for the first time, the members elect a speaker from amongst the members. His term of office is 5 years. The Speaker can resign by submitting his resignation to the Deputy Speaker. He can be removed by a resolution passed by majority of the members of Lok Sabha. So if majority members vote in favor of removing the Speaker, then he will be removed. A Deputy Speaker is also elected who performs the duty of the Speaker in his absence. Role and functions of the Speaker. Business of the House, disciplinary functions, parliamentary committee, administrative functions, miscellaneous functions. So these are the role and functions of the Speaker. Business of the House. Speaker presides over the meetings of Lok Sabha. All speeches and remarks are addressed to him. So whenever a member makes a speech, he starts with Speaker Sir or Adhyaksh Mahoday. He allots time for discussion. He decides who will speak and how long he is going to speak. He interprets the rules of procedure. Rules of procedure are certain rules which are followed during the proceedings of Lok Sabha. He signs all bills passed by the House. So all the bills that are passed by the Lok Sabha are signed by the Speaker before they are sent to the Rajya Sabha or to the President. He decides the admissibility of questions, resolutions, motions of adjournment. He decides whether questions, resolutions, and motions of adjournment will be allowed or not. He puts the issue to vote and announces the result. Now in Lok Sabha, every matter is discussed, debated, and the decision is taken by voting. Now this voting process is started by the Speaker and he also announces the result. He does not vote except when there is a tie. Normally, the Speaker does not vote, but when there is a tie, which is the number of votes for and against a proposal are equal, then he votes to decide the matter, and this is called a casting vote. Administrative functions. He receives all petitions and documents in the House. Petition is a written appeal requesting action on any matter. So if there is any petition or any official documents to be sent to the House, it is sent to the Speaker. He communicates the decision of the House to the concerned authority. So any decision that is taken by the House, it is the Speaker who conveys it to the concerned authority. Regulates the admission of visitors and press to the galleries of the House. Lok Sabha has galleries where the public can witness the proceedings of the House. So the Speaker controls the admission of visitors and press to the galleries of the House. Coming to disciplinary functions. The Speaker maintains order in the House. If any member becomes unruly, he can ask him to withdraw, or he can suspend a member if he disobeys his orders. And in case of grave disorder, now if there is too much of chaos and confusion in the House and it becomes difficult on the part of the Speaker to control the House, in that case, he will adjourn the House. He can order indecent or unparliamentary words to be expunged from the proceedings. Now, he ensures that parliamentary decorum is maintained. Now, the minutes of Lok Sabha or what happens in the Lok Sabha is recorded. So, if a member, sometimes, like members, they lose their cool and they use indecent or unparliamentary words. So, the Speaker can order such words to be removed. He decides whether there is a case relating to breach of privilege or contempt of House. Now, the members enjoy certain rights and privileges. So, it is the Speaker who decides whether someone has violated these privileges or disregarded them. His decision is final with regard to disqualification under the anti-defection law. Now, what is this anti-defection law? This law states that if a member changes his political party, he is penalized by the loss of his seat. So, this changing from one political party to the other is known as defection. So, the Speaker decides whether the MP should be disqualified under the anti-defection law or not. Parliamentary committees. He is the ex officio chairman of Business Advisory Committee and Rules Committee. Ex officio means by virtue of. So whoever is elected as the Speaker of Lok Sabha becomes the chairman of Business Advisory Committee and Rules Committee. And he appoints chairman of all committees of the House. There are various other committees and their chairmen are appointed by the Speaker. He issues directions to the chairman regarding their working and procedure to be followed. So, the chairman of the other committees function under the direction of the Speaker. Next, we have miscellaneous functions. He presides over the joint sessions of Parliament. Now, when is a joint session held? When there is a disagreement between Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha with regard to a ordinary bill. So, in this joint session, the Speaker presides over the joint session. In consultation with the chairman of Rajya Sabha, he nominates parliament delegation to countries. Now, sometimes the members of the parliament are sent abroad on official visits. Okay, so he nominates these delegation of members in consultation with the chairman of Rajya Sabha. He presides over the conference of presiding officers of legislative bodies, other legislative bodies like Rajya Sabha, the state legislative assemblies. They all have their presiding officers, and when there is a conference of these presiding officers, it is the Speaker of the Lok Sabha who presides over the conference. This is a picture of our Vice President, Shri Venkaiah Naidu, who is the chairman of Rajya Sabha. So the Vice President is the ex-officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha does not elect its chairman. Whoever is elected as the Vice President becomes the chairman of Rajya Sabha. A deputy chairman is elected by the Rajya Sabha who performs his functions in his absence. Now we come to the powers and functions of Parliament, which can be broadly categorized under the following headings: legislative powers, amendment of the Constitution, judicial powers, electoral powers, financial powers, and control over executive. Legislative powers. The Parliament has exclusive powers to make laws on 97 subjects in the Union list. So the Union list contains 97 subjects. These are important subjects like foreign affairs, communication, defense, and only the Union legislature has the power to make laws on these subjects. Along with the state legislative assemblies, it can make laws on 47 subjects in the concurrent list. So there is another list which is called the concurrent list, and the Parliament can make laws along with the state legislative assemblies on 47 subjects in the concurrent list. So both the state legislative assemblies and the Parliament can make laws on subjects in the concurrent list. But if there is a conflict, if there is a disagreement, or if there is a conflict or a dispute, then the union law will prevail. Residuary powers. What are these residuary powers? The Parliament can make laws on matters which are not mentioned in the three lists: the Union list, the concurrent list, and the state list. Now, the Parliament can make laws on subjects in the state list. When the Parliament can make laws on subject in the state list. Normally, the state legislatures make laws on subjects in the state list. But under the following situations, the Parliament can make laws on subjects in the state list. Now, the first one is during emergency. When Rajya Sabha passes a resolution by 2/3 majority that the subject in the state list has assumed national importance. So the subject in the state list has become important for the nation as a whole. Rajya Sabha will pass a resolution. So then the Parliament will make laws on the subject in the state list. When two or more states are of the opinion that Parliament should legislate on a subject in the state list. So two or more states, they ask the Parliament to make laws on a subject in the state list. But the law made by the Parliament will only be applicable to those states, not all the states. What is an ordinance? Now, ordinance is a temporary law issued by the President when the Parliament is not in session. So, this ordinance which has been issued by the President, now as soon as the session starts, now this ordinance has to be approved within 6 weeks from the reassembly, from the date on which the session has started. Otherwise, it will cease to operate. When emergency is proclaimed in a state, the parliament becomes the legislature in the state. So when there is an emergency, which is also known as the president's rule, then the parliament makes laws on the subjects in the state list of that state and also passes the budget of the state. Financial powers. The parliament passes the union budget. What is a budget? It is the estimate of the income and expenditure of the government for the financial year. If the amount authorized for the financial year is not sufficient, the amount given to the government is not enough, then the government can make a fresh demand, which is called a supplementary grant, and this also has to be passed by the parliament. Now, what is vote on account? Now, suppose due to some reasons the budget is not passed before 1st April. Okay, the financial year begins on 1st April, and if the budget is not passed before 1st April, then the government will not have any money to spend. Okay, so what the government can do is use the vote on account. So vote on account is a device which authorizes the executive to withdraw money from the consolidated fund. So the government can withdraw money from the consolidated fund of India until the budget is passed. Parliament decides the salaries and allowances of the MPs and ministers, and no tax can be imposed or money spent by the government without the approval of the parliament. So the parliament holds the purse strings of the nation. Now we come to judicial powers. Parliament can impeach the president for violation of constitution or grave misconduct. So the process of removal of the president from his office is known as impeachment. Parliament can also remove the judges of the Supreme Court, High Court, Chief Election Commissioner, Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Parliament can punish a person for obstructing the work or showing disrespect to the House. Next, we have electoral functions. Both the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, they elect the president and the vice president. Lok Sabha elects speaker and the deputy speaker, and Rajya Sabha elects the deputy chairman. Amendment of the Constitution. What do you understand by amendment? Amendment means to modify or change a law. So it is only the parliament which has the power to change any law. So both the houses can amend the constitution by a resolution. Now this you have to remember, resolution of total majority and 2/3 majority of the members present and voting. Total majority of the house and 2/3 majority of the members present and voting. And in some cases, it requires ratification by half of the state legislature. Ratification means approval. Next is how the parliament exercises control over the executive. Interpellation, this we have done earlier. So during question hour, members ask questions to the ministers about their policies and performance, which they are bound to answer. So nothing can remain hidden. Okay. So any information they want, the ministers are bound to provide that to the members. Vote of no confidence. The Council of Ministers are collectively responsible to the Lok Sabha. So if Lok Sabha passes no confidence motion, then the entire ministry has to resign. Adjournment motion has also been done earlier. So adjournment motion can be moved to discuss a matter of urgent public importance. So other motions of censure. So the parliament can pass a censure motion against a minister. So which means censure means a strong disapproval or criticism of the policies of an individual minister or rejection of a government bill, etc. So these are the other motions of censure. It can also exercise monetary control. During budget session, a cut motion may be moved. Now, what is a cut motion? It is a motion when members oppose the demand for money made by the government in the budget. So that is known as a cut motion. Parliamentary Committee on Public Accounts. So this is another committee of the Parliament. So this committee ensures, it makes sure that public money is spent according to Parliament decision. Okay, so all the money that the government has in the form of taxes, so that is spent according to the Parliament decision and examines the report of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Now, there are some special powers which are enjoyed by the Lok Sabha as well as the Rajya Sabha. So special powers of Rajya Sabha can pass a resolution by 2/3 majority and empower the parliament to make laws on a subject in the state list. It can declare the creation of a new All India service. And Rajya Sabha is a permanent house. It cannot be dissolved as a whole. What are the special powers of Lok Sabha? Council of Ministers are collectively responsible only to Lok Sabha, not to Rajya Sabha. So no confidence motion to remove the ministry can only be passed by the Lok Sabha. Money bills can only be introduced in the Lok Sabha and not in the Rajya Sabha. In case of deadlock over an ordinary bill, suppose there is a disagreement over an ordinary bill and then a joint session will be called, and in this joint session the speaker presides over the joint session and the will of the Lok Sabha normally prevails. Why? Because its strength is more than double of Rajya Sabha.